Hey, welcome to the show. Daver here.
Hey, this guy's Chad.
And Chandler's back as well. How we doing today, Dave?
Well, we're doing pretty good. The three of us went to a pretty cool prestige wrestling show at the Roseland Theater. It was Roseland 7. Uh, yeah, they're really uh, bringing in the big names, I feel. Uh, kind of related to Collision. Quite a few names that we saw at Prestige were actually on Collision too. JD Drake, Anthony Henry, Willow Nightingale, Sky Blue, Nick Wayne. Uh, yeah, it was really cool. I believe it was live, and they had to catch an early flight, it looks like, to get to North Carolina. Uh, but yeah, I really enjoyed that Prestige show. That was your first one, right, Chandler?
Oh yeah, first of many. Hopefully, it was a great time. I think my favorite part was probably just Nick Wayne coming out and him being in the main event. That was so much fun, and the crowd were popping so hard for him. I was the only one yelling "Prodigy" at him, but I don't care. It was a blast. How about you, Chad? What did you like most?
Oh my gosh, I love the whole thing, but I'm kind of a psychopath, so I loved Amira.
Ugh, ugh.
Intergender death match. That was friggin' awesome.
Oh, yeah, it was pretty good. It was a lot to watch, but I was glad they had an intermission right after that.
Lots of color. I loved it.
Yeah, yeah. Up and coming star there, Amira. We kind of got to not really meet and greet, but me and
We
Chandler
were
introduced
bums.
ourselves.
We
We
freeloaded.
introduced ourselves to Brian Zane,
Yeah.
who was doing commentary, and I couldn't help myself. I had to get the scoop. I asked him, I'm like, all right, where do you think Amira's gonna go after here? She's going to the moon, right? And he's like, AEW. I was like, all right, you heard it here first.
Especially with the match she had with Drexel, she wouldn't be a fit for WWE. Like, I would want to see her have more death matches with the women of AEW, if anything. I did not have such a great scoop with Brian Zane. I just said, wow, I've been watching your content for years. I love you, man. Thank you. And then I also saw Leo Rush, which I did get an exclusive first news here. He'll be at GCW next because I was just like, I don't know what to ask him. I don't want to be like, wow, great match, man, because that's kind of like cringe, but I was like, well, I want to like actually say something. So he'll be heading to GCW next. I'll probably check it out because my goodness, him and Samurai Del Sol, aka the former Kalisto, they had a banger, like just a hidden banger right in the middle of the card. So it was excellent, just top to bottom, great show.
Yeah, and those guys were clearly having fun too. That's what I love about those shows is like they're happy to be there. They're having fun in front of a more personal crowd. The way they finished was hilarious. Making him do the lucha stuff, that was great.
Yeah, so much fun. Oh,
Yeah,
well,
definitely love it.
something that for me was not as fun as Prestige that we're going to be talking about a bit more, unless y'all have anything else to say about Prestige.
No, I mean, there's a possibility we might do a little more in-depth content involved with Prestige coming up. I'd really like to dive into that, maybe uh, featuring some of their talent, kind of focusing wrestler by wrestler. Yeah, I want to get into that a little more. Uh, Heck, one day maybe we can interview uh, someone.
Got to get that Miami Heat.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Midnight Heat.
I have my new favorite wrestlers, and they were Prestige. It was these guys that were like plucked straight from the 80s. They were this cheesy tag team, and everyone hated them there. They were booing them. I was the only one who was like their biggest fan. So they won. I was buzzing. But, anyways, moving on. Any colliders out there? How was Collision, boys? What we think?
Okay, show. They toned Ric Flair down a little bit. I appreciated that. Uh, it was not as good as maybe the last Collision. Uh, Maybe not as eventful as Dynamite, but yeah, I can't give it a bad rating. uh,
Yeah, it was a show. It was kind of middle of the road for me. It wasn't offensive. It didn't like wow me like the previous Dynamite, but I thought it was okay. None of the matches really stood out to me. It was all they all felt almost like watching Raw. It was like, oh, a match happened, but it wasn't. Nothing was bad. No like crazy botches or anything. It just
Yeah.
didn't jazz me up. Maybe it's the post C2 doldrums now. Like you were saying, I'm not looking forward to the tournament ending because what next?
Yeah, I'll say I was pretty bored for most of the show, but the main event really saved it. So that I'll give kudos to that. But we'll just start off. Big stinger.
yeah, we got Darby Allin and Sting versus the Workhorsemen, JD Drake and Anthony Henry, which we literally saw less than 24 hours before that at the Prestige show. Yeah, kind of cool. Ric Flair was there for support. Why wouldn't he be in Charlotte, North Carolina? Um, yeah, Mark Henry, uh, Anthony Henry, uh, attacked Darby right off the bat before the bell even rang. JD Drake hit Sting with a chair. Sting no sold it. Ric Flair chopped him. He got his one little chop in. The Workhorseman manhandled Darby Allin until JD Drake misses a moonsault. Sting tags in, and Darby hits a code red on the big man. Darby ends up coffin dropping Anthony Henry on the outside, and Sting hits Drake with a Scorpion Death Drop for the win. Yeah, had no doubt that that would be the outcome. Just, which move will Sting hit? The drop or the lock?
Yeah. One of these days he'll win a match with a splash. It's gotta happen soon.
Why not, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
This was a pretty nothing match. Again, it was never really in contention of who was going to win. It was always going to be Sting and Darby. I really hope. This is so dumb. I really hope Takeshita and Hobbs win because I think there's a lot of like storylines you can tell after that. I think there's a lot of like we're kind of at a crossroads here. Not to drop Cody Rhodes into this, but you could either go the route what I want, which is Takeshita will probably pin like Darby, right? And then Darby might not like see himself as worthy of being with Sting, and Sting will be like, "Well, how about this? Let's go have a match at Revolution, my retirement match," and it's Darby proving himself to his mentor and himself. Or you could have Sting and Darby win, which I'm still okay with because I still like Sting and this retirement tour has been fun. Hasn't been exciting, but it's been fun. I just keep thinking about like Shawn Michaels' retirement and Ric Flair's retirement, and like I just want Sting to have such a grandiose retirement like that. So I'm really hoping for something big, but I don't think I'd be that disappointed if they just won and continue this big old baby face happy cheery because there's a lot of fans that are just eating up this Sting retirement tour, and I think that's good. It's a fun 10 minutes on TV every week.
Yeah, I tend to agree with Chandler on that. Like, need to insert some drama into it. If it's just play the hits every time, and they'll be like, "Oh, that was fun, but kind of not impactful." So, definitely agree with that. I do have to put over one thing that happened in this match where when they were outside of the ring, uh, Darby got whipped to JD Drake, and he did that pop up into the ropes on the outside of the ring. And then when Darby rebounded off, he gave him this crazy lariat. I thought that was a pretty dope spot. But yeah, it was just it was a popcorn match. Just kind of shut your brain off and have fun. You know how it's gonna end. But I did like that move, and it was pretty wild. Like, hey, we just saw these guys in Portland like less than 24 hours ago. Now here they are on this. So that was pretty cool.
yeah. It kind of made me respect the Workhorsemen a little bit more uh, for what they do. So yeah, fun match. Never never got worried about who was gonna win. But yeah, fun stuff. Good to see Sting fight until the end. After that, we get the first ever Continental Crown title defense. Eddie Kingston versus Trent Beretta. Yeah, fun match. Eddie put up the fight that I thought he would. Trent ended up getting pretty bloody. Nice little nose injury
Yeah, do you think
with
that was
his mom
intentional or was
there.
that a goof?
I think he actually broke his nose. It didn't. I don't know, but I didn't really see the doctor like checking up on him that much. But
Interesting.
He
Yeah.
was
No,
down in the mat like for a while. He could have bladed. But yeah, that's cool that we wonder if it was real or not.
mhm.
yeah.
uh, but yeah, a lot of cool things happened in the match. So yeah, they started out exchanging chops. Eddie ends up kicking Trent. Trent hits a tornado DDT on Eddie. Eddie chops Trent in the face. Trent bleeding, broken nose. Eddie Kingston Saito suplexes Trent on the outside. We see Trent's mom Sue is ringside, cheering him on. Trent bleeding a lot. We get a tope suicida from Trent on Eddie on the outside. Trent power bombs Eddie Kingston from the corner for 2. Trent goes for strong 0, but Eddie hits an exploder. Uh, Eventually, Trent goes or gets a 1 count to Eddie from a gut wrench German suplex, then another suplex, then another suplex. We get a running knee to Eddie Kingston from Trent, Gotch style pile driver to Eddie from Trent for 2. Both men on their knees, and they punch the shit out of each other. They exchange chops and forearms. We get a half and half suplex to Eddie from Trent. Trent charges Eddie, but Eddie hits a half and half suplex, a back fist, then a Northern Light suplex, but Trent kicks out at 2. Woo! Eddie ends up having to hit a stalling Northern Light bomb for the win. Yeah, great title defense, great match. Trent was a worthy opponent in my mind.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I kind of predictable ending, but the thing I love about Eddie is he's kind of developing into one of those guys who can kind of finish a match in any way. Like the last handful of matches, he's hasn't really had a specific finisher. He's hit him with various moves. So I think I kind of like that aspect of him right now. But I don't know. I figured first title defense they weren't going to switch it. So I don't know. Pretty obvious to me. How about you, Chandler?
Yeah, this was a pretty big, boring match. Like it wasn't bad. I'll never call this match bad, but I don't like Trent. I think he's boring. He's just kind of Orange Cassidy's friend that loses a lot. So I just kind of saw this match as Eddie Kingston just kind of trouncing him, and it wasn't that, but it was just like I don't care about a chop battle. I don't care about the two guys on their knees and they're gonna start clubbing each other because it's like it's Trent. Like he's not doing anything after this. He's just gonna be on Rampage again. So I was just kind of bored the whole time, and then Eddie won. But I liked that he won with something that he doesn't typically win with. That's a bonus, you know. Is Eddie Kingston the Gunther of AEW? That'd be a fun match. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad Eddie Kingston won. That's the right call. I never thought he'd lose, but
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, hopefully they'll start introducing increasingly more challenging opponents. Man, who would I really want to challenge him? Maybe Roosh, but that'd be kind of playing back the Continental Classic.
yeah, they didn't wrestle
Uh,
each other. They were in different leagues. I was thinking
yeah,
Jay
true.
White because again, they were in both in the Continental Classic, but different leagues. I mean, Jay White's busy right now, but Roosh hasn't been anywhere. So
Yeah,
Roosh is a
yeah,
great
yeah,
shout.
yeah. That'd be good. But yeah, moving on after that, we got Tony Schiavone backstage with Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander. Willow Nightingale, we literally watched her wrestle a match at Prestige. Great energy. Really liked Sandra Moon, who she
Yeah.
challenged at. Uh, Real fun, great ability. Yeah, I'm really loving that. But yeah, we got to watch her live, and then on Collision, uh, Tony Schiavone brought up it was weird how Stokely Hathaway was paying so much attention. Uh, she says or Willow says she's going to focus on the hot start she has with Statlander. Statlander says 2024 or in 2024, they are the two of the best wrestlers in AEW, bottom line. And she has a bearded dragon on her shoulder. Thought that was kind of cool.
His name was Boots. That's all
Um,
I kind of wrote about that.
yeah. Yeah, not very interested in the side. At least they have a kind of a C storyline going on here. Uh, they could not, I
Yeah.
guess. Then we would be complaining about them not having it.
I feel like I've been seeing segments like this since I started watching AEW, where it's specifically like two women where we don't have much for them to do, and they go, "Oh, I'm about to start doing stuff," and then like that's the segment. So it is like, well, at least they're on TV, I guess. If this is if this is it, then yeah, at least Chris Stanlander and Willow are on TV. You know, you could also argue that like Julia Hart's bit in the main event, she was there for what, 10 seconds? She didn't say a word, and she was more impactful than any woman on the show. So, like, I think you could be a little bit more creative with this, Tony. Like, you could probably have Chris Statlander at ringside with Tret. That might add a little drama. Like, hurry, like they're in the same faction, right? They're all in the best friends or whatever. Would have added something to the match.
Yeah,
The
true.
next promo, a little bit more interesting. That's something to come.
Yeah. We got Hook here. He says his win percentage is second to none, and time for him to get after another championship. He calls out Samoa Joe for the AEW World Championship. Yeah, he won't win, but I want to see it.
Oh yeah, it was beautifully shot too. Like I love that whole like dark city behind him. I thought it looked great. He actually showed a little gravitas, maybe because it was more of a pre-tape thing, like probably a couple takes, I'm guessing, but looked good. And yeah, that'll be a good first title defense, like you say, kind of probably a predictable outcome, but shoot, like two killers going after each other. I like the. I think that'll be a cool ass matchup. How about you, Chandler?
You could argue, I'm going to take our minds back a little bit. You could argue the Daniel Garcia MJF world title match at Portland started this swerve moves or run that Daniel Garcia is on. So I hope that this maybe Hook fight or match with Samoa Joe is that for him. That it kind of is like, all right, we're gonna start doing something with Hook. It'll be a little slow burning like Daniel Garcia is, but it'll at least be entertaining. He'll be in high spots on the card, which that's kind of all you want with some people. Like not everyone can be world champion, and not everyone can be TNT champion, but as long as they're getting prominent spots on the card, that's pretty cool. So I'll be looking forward to this.
Yeah, no, ain't no one getting touching that TNT championship for any time soon until he bequeaths it to his prodigy when he retires or passes away.
Yep. Family legacy, family dynasty of the Christian Cage.
Yeah. But yeah, that'll be cool to see Hook go for that belt. Red Rum versus Samoa Joe's rear choke. I
It
think
was
that'll be
called
a
the
cool.
Coquina Clutch in WWE. I don't know if they dropped that. I think it's just a rear naked choke now.
Yeah. That's they both have one. That'll be great. Battle of the rear naked chokes.
You'll think
Yeah,
they'll bring
good,
up Taz's and Joe's history?
Ooh, I would hope
of
so.
course. Yeah, it's weird. Like Taz hasn't really like managed Hook except for the very tail end of Team Taz back in the day. But yeah, they kind of transitioned him to like impartial commentary. Uh, but yeah, you know about his whole faction, right, Chandler?
But I don't know much about Team Taz. What was it?
Yeah, it was Brian Cage, Will Hobbs, Ricky Starks, and Hook. Things kind of fell apart. They kicked out Cage, and uh, Ricky Starks and Hobbs had their little battle, and it fell off the radar. But yeah, I think they should get Taz kind of managing Hook a little more. I think that would work. He could still do commentary.
Yeah, just kind of be like, oh, Hook wrestles only on Collision, and Taz will come out on Collision and watch his matches, and maybe on the pay per view, maybe Nigel McGuinness steps in for Taz or whatever. Like that'd be pretty nice.
Yeah. But yeah, moving on, we get a Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship match. The recently unmasked Matt Taven and Mike Bennett versus Brian Keith and Commander. Uh, there's no way Brian Keith isn't getting a contract soon. Like he's been all over Ring of Honor, Collision, Dynamite. That's how it goes. Like I've seen this pattern before. You know what I mean, Chad?
Oh yeah, yeah. There's been quite a few guys who took that route, and I sure enjoy watching him. So hope he sticks around and keeps on the TV and doesn't go hide away on Rampage and Ring of Honor.
That's what I put in my notes. Is
Yeah.
can you just sign this guy already? Like it's clear that you want to, you just haven't done it yet. So let's wrap this up. Let's just make it official. He's all elite. And get him in some programs. Like I'm ready for him.
Yeah, I really like him. Big fan. Keep him around. Um, but yeah, this was actually a proving ground match where you have to beat the champions in under 10 minutes or draw to get the title shot. So this wasn't actually, I retract, this wasn't an actual world title match. Uh, so yeah, that kind of confused me, and when I rewatched it again, it like made more sense. So Ring of Honor things, I don't know, peer champion rules, proving ground rules. They have a lot of rules.
I think it's just a number one contender, or it's a contenders match, and you can draw and succeed. I think, and I'm sure it's
Yeah.
just a Ring of Honor thing, which, I thought maybe we could get away from Ring of Honor crap on AEW, but it's clear we're not. So dig in, boys.
Um, yeah, Taven and Bennett dominate Commander and Keith for most of the match. Commander hits a spinning DDT to Taven. Commander superplexes Taven off of Brian Keith's shoulders. Pretty cool. Commander dives on Taven and Bennett with Brian Keith's help. Taven and Bennett win with a combo move. A combo power bomb move. Yeah, clean in the middle of the ring. Like they've got skill. They can wrestle, and they're fun to watch. I mean, I may not love the devil thing and everything going on with that, but yeah, I respect their ability, and it's no wonder they've been around for a very long time. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be too negative on this match, but it's just a classic. Like I really liked the competitors, the challengers. I thought they were actually a pretty good team together. The only notes I had were the standing suplex and him setting up Commander for the dive on the Kingdom. I was like, oh, these are like interesting. They're working together. And then right as I wrote that in my notes, they pinned Brian Keith. And I was like, oh, whatever. But they win. I think I was like, I can't believe I actually got to take these guys seriously because they were goobers for so long. And the Devil Dumpling Gang, they were still goobers under the mask. And now, oh, the masks are off. And now I got to take them seriously, and it's still over the Ring of Honor tag team titles, which just kind of feel like props after MJF's run he had over the last couple months. So it's like I just maybe it'll get better when they actually like fight tag teams. But also, I feel like these are Ring of Honor titles, and I still don't really want to see them on AEW. But whatever, it was fine.
Yeah, I bet you we have a feud with the Righteous in our future.
Yay!
Yeah.
Although I
will
really did
happen.
like their packaging. I thought I like the Kingdom's Tron and their music. I thought,
I like the whole package. I like Wardlow and Roddy still, and Adam Cole's a cool leader. It's just them two alone as a tag team. If Roddy helped and cheated to win, I'd be like, "Ooh, good heel heat." But nah, all right. Well, I'll come around to them. They'll have a couple bangers, and I'll come around. I'm just not there yet.
Yeah, I'm keeping an open mind on them. I mean, again, I have, respect for what they've done for many years. So, uh, and they don't look bad when they wrestle. They
Mm.
they look
There
crisp
was not
and
a bad match on this show. It just there wasn't a whole lot of interesting matches on this show. There was one interesting match.
yeah. But yeah, keeping an open mind. I think they'll get a little cooler, maybe. I'm hoping. Uh, but after that, we get Renee Paquette backstage with Bullet Club Gold. Renee asks them what kind of relationship they have with the Acclaimed. Right then, the Acclaimed walk up and they get in an argument over various things. Uh, Anthony Bowen stops them all and suggests that they team up. He says the only way to get to the top is through factions. He brings up Jay White and the Bullet Club in Japan, brings up Billy Gunn. He doesn't mention DX, but that's what he's referring to. Uh, Jay White and Colton Gunn don't seem interested. They walk away. But Austin says that it makes sense. Uh, I kind of like that, man. What could we get here? Like, what kind of faction?
Yeah, I this is one of the more intriguing things on the show. Well, you got to think about what are we setting up to. That's what I'm always thinking about. Is like, what's the end game here? I know we're a little ways away from blood and guts, but this could be your potential blood and guts match if somehow Adam Cole is healed by then. You could do Anarchy and the Ritas, Stadium Stampedes. You got a Revolution pay per view coming up in only a couple months, so you got to have matches that aren't just for titles. So I'm looking forward to this possibility. I think it'll be interesting.
yeah, it's a kind of an off the wall pairing, but I kind of like it. Like they claimed have always been over, and like I've really been getting into Bullet Club Gold lately. Like I said, they kind of when they made that sort of change from hapless heels to a little more intense and scary, I was like, ooh, I like these guys now. So it'd be kind of a weird can they coexist kind of angle with a faction instead of just two people in a tag team. So no, it could be a really interesting TV. I hope they develop this more.
The
Uh,
enemy of my enemy is my friend is kind of one of my favorite tropes. So if they do that with Jay White and the Acclaimed and the Guns, hell yeah, I'm all for that.
Yeah, and when Juice Robinson comes back, that'll just make it weird, which I always appreciate weird shit. So,
Mhm.
I don't know. How do you feel
What
about
would
it,
they
Dave?
be called?
Ooh,
What would they be
Mm.
called?
huh?
The Acclaimed Bullet Club Gold, because you would be like the Acclaimed is like a adjective now. You're like, oh, they are acclaimed because they are the Bullet Club Gold.
Scissor, scissor, bang, bang.
Ooh, I like it.
I like that one better. Do that one. Tony Khan, I know you're watching. Write it down.
The T-shirt sells itself.
Exactly. Two scissors, maybe a gun in the middle. I like it. I like it.
Uh, cool. Yeah, I'm very intrigued by that. I'd like for them to team up. That's my wish. Uh, cool. Yeah. After that, we get Adam Copeland
Oh, this segment.
responding to World's End, winning and then quickly losing the TNT title. He reminds us at World's End that they beat the living hell out of each other and that he won the title. Christian says he goes to the back of the line now, but it's okay. He works harder than Christian. He's going to start earning his title shot and he's ready for a fight and he's already in his gear. Uh, he's got an open challenge now. We're going to call it the Cope Open, which really took off. People are liking that on the old internet.
Yeah, it was funny.
Anyone? Yeah, yeah. anyone in the back. Then we get Griff Garrison's music hitting. Apparently, he's been kind of teaming with Maria Kanellis, who's married to Mike Bennett,
Yep.
I thought, and Cole Carter. Is he an NXT guy? I don't know. I don't know who he is.
I don't know.
I don't know. When I saw him, I was like, wasn't that the guy from the Mortal Kombat movie? It was Cole something or other on that. So,
Cole Sprouse.
but
Yeah.
I got a kick out of it though, because as I was writing down who the F is Griff Garrison, that he yelled it. I was like, right on. It was one of my favorite bits in BT when Dark Order was ruling the roost there. They brought Griff into the room and shoot, why am I spacing his name? The leader.
Brody.
Yeah, Brody walks into the room because they're like, "We just recruited Jungle Boy," and Griff Garrison's sitting there because they have the same hair.
Okay, that's pretty
That's not
funny.
Jungle Boy. That's Griff Garrison. Some guy just yells, "Who the fuck is Griff Garrison?" It was just kind of became a thing after that. I loved it.
That's funny.
Yeah. I'm glad they brought that up. That was good. But yeah, Adam Copeland says he's going from sea level to Mount Everest, and Griff slaps him in the face. Copeland ends up beating his ass. Copeland goes for a spear, but Maria grabs his leg. The ref gets distracted by Maria, and Cole Carter grabs Copeland's leg, tripping him up. Griff takes control, gets Copeland in a headlock. Copeland powers out, and Griff plants Copeland face first on the mat. Copeland hits a crossbody on Griff for 2. Then Adam Copeland goes for a spear, but Griff hits a discus lariat on Copeland. Then we get an avalanche superplex to Griff and a crossface for the win. Cole Carter kicks Copeland and goes for a 450, but Copeland moves and spears him. Yeah, kind of a weird little thing. What I got out of the whole thing is Adam Copeland clearly was telling the truth about seeing a lot of himself in Griff Garrison. I think this is the whole point of it, was to push, like, give him a little something, maybe.
Give him
Like, he likes
more.
him.
Like if I liked someone and I wanted to make him look good, I'd give him like a 10-15 minute match. This was like 6, and Adam Copeland like dominated for all of it. This is like kind of why I was like, ugh. Like if it's a match against someone I've never heard of before, make it good. Because this is the first time this guy's probably on TV for how long? He's on an actual broadcast channel. If you want to make him anything, have him had a good match. But this was like nothing. It was just Copeland. There was 2 things that I thought were pretty interesting. It was the one spot where Maria distracted Adam and he went back and did the spear. And there was the other guy who was like hitting really well under the ring and pulled his leg out. I was like, ooh, that was cool. And then Griff's Disket Lariat, I think you called it. That looked pretty good. Other than that, it was just kind of a nothing match. And I kind of got a little pissy. I wrote out every single name that wouldn't have hurt them if they lost, but would have made this more interesting. So I did I looked at the entire AEW roster. I said anyone in Top Flight / Action Andretti. I said Daddy Magic. I said Danhausen. I said this is how you could have started the return of Jack Perry. And maybe this is like, ooh, Adam Copeland needs an ally in the fight against Christian. Jack Perry's a pretty good name because he's a face and whatever. You got Jay Lethal. That would have been interesting. Jeff Jarrett, might I say. Lance Archer. Or what about Santana or Ortiz? Where have those 2 been? And those were just names that, like, you could have just brought them out. They had the same exact match, and it would have been better because people might have known them. But nobody knew this guy, and it didn't make him look good. He tapped out instantly.
I think the hardest core AEW fan base knew him, but he wasn't as, big as anyone you just named. He used to team with Brian Pillman Jr. They were the Varsity Blondes.
Oh, he's okay. All right, though that's something. The
I wonder if
Varsity
he's a
Blondes have.
Lex offender now.
I'm a registered Lex offender. I can say that. I guess that's different. I didn't know that he was one of the. I do know of the Varsity Blondes, so that's kind of something. But also, the biggest person in that was Julia Hart, and then it was Brian Pillman Jr., and then it's Griff Garrison. So we're at like 3 tiers down, and my point is just like I think it would have made for better TV, like just any of those names, and those are all people that could easily lose, and it would be fine. But if you want to build new stars, then have good matches with them, and if you don't, then have it be a name I know that's like, oh, Adam just beat Commander. At least I got to see Commander do some fun flips.
Yeah, true. Right. So, yeah, out there, do you guys think anyone else could have been better choice? Leave us a comment. Let us know who you thought could have been a better open challenge contestant for Adam Copeland. Uh, don't forget to like and subscribe while you're at it. We're very close to hitting our 100. Pretty cool milestone. I'm gonna eat the hot bags of the Death Nut Challenge here. They're ready to go for me when I get there. Chad, you're gonna eat a chip with the bomb hot sauce on it.
Yeah, just arrived
Uh,
in the package. I'm
Ugh.
sitting there on the counter. Every time I walk by it, I'm like, I should. Nah, I've done you once. Nah, I'm saving this.
I plan on eating 5 of the sour candies we all had to do at once. And after I said that, I regret it because my mouth was quite literally burned. Like when you burn your mouth from eating something too hot, it was burned for days. And I'm still kind of feeling it today. I'm still not 100%. So you better stay tuned for this, guys. We're putting our lives on the line, we're putting our careers on the line for this. We're serious.
yeah, should be fun. I think 100 is a pretty cool milestone, to be honest. Uh, so yeah, we're gonna keep pumping out comment, podcasts, top 5 videos. Yeah, keep watching. Give us your support if you can. We appreciate it. Um, but yeah, after that we get a old school Ric Flair Sting promo with Darby Allin just kind of giggling in the background. Ric Flair talks about Sting and Darby being unbeatable. We get that retro Stinger fired up promo. He said he's not going to coast through his last weeks. He's all fired up, and it's going to be showtime. Yeah, I thought it
Ooh.
was cool. They didn't let Ric Flair talk about women or girls.
You didn't ask anyone
They,
back to his hotel room that's 18 to 22. Like that's okay. This is
yeah,
okay, Tony Khan. But it's hard to be negative when Sting is that lively and rambunctious. He's so infectious. Like no wonder he's been an icon for decades.
yeah,
Yeah, it was really
but yeah,
fun
I
to
thought it
see him
was cool.
go old school with that promo. It's like just yelling at the camera and getting all fired up. I was like, I kind of miss that.
Mhm. Yeah, it felt kind of cool. Yeah, looking forward to it. They're going to be in Daly's place, the home of AEW. It'll be a Texas Tornado match too, from what
Yeah.
I understand now. Uh, I mean, that makes more sense. Means Sting can kind of relax a little more, if that makes sense. Like, uh,
Yeah.
they can double team Darby and kind of keep the focus off Sting a little easier.
They can put Sting through a table and then double team Darby for 10 minutes, and then Sting will come back and save and tap out Takeshita, and we'll all go home happy.
That was not a
Yeah.
prediction. It was a spoiler.
No, no, no. My prediction is Takeshita beats Darby because they keep on hyping up this 26-0, and I'm just getting the Undertaker streak vibes from this. Like every streak's got to come to an end at some point. So
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think it's better drama if they take the loss to have something to battle against, because otherwise it's just happy win, and then he goes off and retires.
One thing I will say that was really funny was as soon as the Sting promo ended, Nigel went, who forgot to give Grandpa his meds?" So once again, Nigel is just on point.
Goaded.
And I think Tony Schiavone was like, "Nigel!" Like, he was so disappointed in him. Like, the commentary always makes AEW so much better.
Nigel is a special part of Collision.
Mhm,
I can't can't put it into words. Like Kevin Kelly's great,
mhm.
great, but Nigel just adds that Bobby Heenan like I love how he hates Brian Danielson and all the BCC. Love it. So good. Who's like a good comparison for WWE? Who was like the heel commentator that's like
Uh,
known for like cheering for the bad people and
so
giving excuses.
if people watch the two products, I'm gonna say a name and people are gonna like hate me for it. I don't think they're of the same quality, but he's pretty similar to Corey Graves because they're kind of in the same way where they're just like in denial of whatever the heel is doing. They're just like, "Oh no, he's doing great. Like, what are you talking about? He's fantastic." And I like Corey Graves sometimes. Sometimes he has some funny lines, but like half the time he just kind of gets on my nerves. Like Nigel McGuinness never is annoying. He's either funny or really intuitive, I guess. I don't know. Like he's
Yeah.
really smart and he knows what he's talking about with
Insightful.
wrestling. He's a world champion for God's sake. Like he knows what he's talking about, and on top of it, he can have some banter. So that's probably the closest comparison I could have of like a heel commentator where they're snarky and they're always making clips and they're talking trash. But Nigel McGuinness is like here. Corey Graves is like here.
Where would you put Pat McAfee onto your list? I love
Ooh.
Pat McAfee.
So this is the heel list, but if we're just going like commentator list, he's like he might be here. He's pretty good.
He's pretty high up. I love that guy. Man, when he came out to Seven Nation Army in WrestleMania, I was pumped. That was
He's
awesome.
he single-handedly revitalized Michael Cole's career and made everyone like be convinced that Michael Cole is a legend, which he is. He's fantastic, but it took one guy for everyone to hate Michael Cole to now think he's one of the best and all-time greats and up there with JR and Kevin Kelly and all that. So Pat McAfee's got some
Yeah.
stuff.
But yeah, fun stuff with Sting and Ric Flair there. After that, we get Sky Blue versus Kiera Hogan. Sky Blue, another competitor that we literally saw the night before at Prestige. Great match. Yeah, she won clearly. I don't know if they lose very often when they do the independent stuff. Sammy Callahan did at
Workhorseman
Prestige.
lost.
Workhorsemen did. They
Yeah.
did the
So
job.
Yeah, they did do the job. Wow. Yeah.
I think
uh,
if we're talking levels for these people, Sky Blue and Will Nightingale are at like your upper mid card currently for your women's division in AEW, and Workhorseman is your team that loses to Sting and Darby or anyone. They just lose to anyone. When's the last time they won a match? And then who's the other one we said did the job? Or was that the only one? Oh,
um,
Sammy Callahan. I don't know
Workhorseman.
about I don't know
Yeah,
about
yeah,
Sammy Callahan. He's TNA, but Workhorseman. I think it's just levels to this kind of stuff.
yeah. But yeah, they actually used to team together fairly recently. In fact, they're both really powerful women. Hogan flaps Sky and hits a drop toe hold, then a hip attack, then a kick to the face, then a cover for a 2 count. Sky viciously throws Kira Hogan to the mat. Hogan hits a neck breaker to Sky for a 2 count, but it wasn't enough. Sky ends up winning with a dragon sleeper. Uh, yeah, cool little match. Nothing to like, you know, get excited too much about. But yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see more of Kiera Hogan, actually. I think she's kind of got something. Just the way she trash talks mid match, like her mouth is always going. It's kind of got a Kevin Owens or Stone Cold Steve Austin vibe. Like, I think she could hit another level given some more development. So hopefully she gets some more time in the ring that we get to see.
Yeah. This was another match where I was like, I wish like Julia was at ringside or something. Like add a little bit, like I don't know, just add anything to this match because it was fine. It was kind of just standard, but Sky Blue won, which I think everyone kind of figured. And then what does this lead to? Does Sky Blue have a match with Tony Storm again? Does she like what's next? Like, does this lead to anything, or was this just we got to have a women's match?
Yeah. Yeah.
One thing I
Hopefully
will
it
say,
does.
I always talk about Nigel McGuinness on commentary. This was a Tony Schiavone commentary. Right as they were swinging to picture in picture, Sky Blue winked at the camera, and Tony was like, "Oh, is she winking at you, Nigel?" So it's just little things
Yeah.
like that where they do their little banter. I love it. So that's kind of it.
Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, after that they showed the same video package that they showed during 0 Hour at World's End about Serena Deeb coming back. She's been away training in isolation, dissecting every part of the women's division. She says, "Want to tie me up? I know every escape. You want to restrain me? I know how to break free. I refuse to accept my shackles placed upon me." Known as the Woman of 1,000 Holds, which is sanctioned by Dean Malenko, is how she earned that.
Ooh.
Um, uh, she says, in the human torture device, and she's known as the Demon, which she likes. She's ready to return, so that should be great. I think um, she'll bring the heat, bring the ability. Like,
Yeah, no, right
I
before
don't
she
know.
left, man, she was on fire. Like,
Yeah.
believable as just someone who's gonna wreck you. I loved it. She's doing that cool the timer bit there. That was pretty fun. Where just like it's going against just like jobbers is like you can't last 2 minutes with me, and she would just tie him up and beat him in like a minute and a half. It was great.
Controversial. This kind of just popped in my head, but I want to share your guys' enthusiasm with this because I haven't seen Serena D before, and I hope she's a great wrestler and I hope she does well. But with this one segment a week we still get, and adding in Deonna Purrazzo and Mariah May and all this, like I'm not that excited. So I'm kind of thinking like, all right, what are we gonna like change about this? Like, what could we do? And so I'm thinking like, obviously 2 segments a week, that's crazy. But what if you took like Rampage or Collision, shows that aren't really doing that much? You just put all the women on there. Like, sure, it's not like the best idea, but it's also like if you just had a women only show and you could feature these wonderful talent and actually give them stories that aren't just like who's going for the title, I think that'd be a lot. And it would kind of shut up a lot of naysayers like, me and people who are like, you should do more with these women, Tony. Like it would kind of speak a lot. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I'd love it. One of my favorite pay-per-views ever was the one WWE did, the women's only one.
Evolution?
Yeah, dude, that was amazing. Shit, the women can go. Like they just have a certain athletic style that men cannot replicate. And yeah, I would watch it every week if that were a thing for sure. How about you, Dave?
Yeah. I think that they would need a show like Rampage to fill in that AEW Dark role, to feature the C and the D talent, to kind of give them something to do. Uh, maybe, yeah, maybe give them 1 more hour. Uh, I don't know. If they don't end up going to or staying with Warner Brothers, they could maybe be allowed to make a YouTube show again. I don't know. But no, that the women's show would need to be on TV.
Yeah.
I think they should give Rampage to the women and create another, or bring Dark back for that lower talent.
Yeah, because I don't want to see like I don't want this women's show to be seen as like oh Rampage is the C show. Like I want this to be at least on par with Collision, if not Dynamite. But like I just want to get excited about all these new women. And Mariah May was so great, and I love Tony Storm and Julia Hart so much, and I'm sure there's so many other
Yeah,
women
I
that I
hear
just
you.
haven't
Then
seen.
when you see them once every 6 to 8 weeks, because there's so many
Yeah,
people they got to cycle through, it is a
yeah.
bummer.
You guys are talking about Kira Hogan. I've seen her have one match before, and it was a 2-minute squash against like Julia or Sky Blue like months ago. So I want to be there with you guys with this, but I'm just too cynical about it. And then like, what with Mercedes Monet coming in, you have to step up your women's division if she is, because that's a big deal. So we kind of got to start doing something at some point.
Yeah,
I don't know,
yeah.
just my daily controversial opinion. I gotta
Ding,
have
ding, ding. The
gotta have
more
one
you
per
know.
show.
Yeah. Um, so after that, we get Claudio Castagnoli versus Andrew Everett, 7 foot tall guy. Um, uh,
He sure
Claudio actually
was.
challenges Hangman Adam Page for a match on Dynamite right before or during the intro or the on his way to the ring. Uh, yeah, he thinks he's 7 feet tall. Claudio choke slams him. Claudio European uppercuts Everett into the barricade. Claudio gives Everett the giant swing. Uh, Andrew Everett gives Claudio a leg lariat. Uh, then he goes for a shooting star press, but Claudio drives his head into the mat and then a lariat for the win. Uh, yeah, kind of a quick nothing match. I don't have much to say about it. Claudio looked OP and did what he should have done. I think the story coming out of that match was the challenge to Hangman, honestly. So yeah, apparently Everett was trained by the Hardys too. I think I caught somewhere. Uh, but yeah, not much of a exciting match for me. How about you two?
Yeah, it was more of an excuse to have the picture-in-picture promo with a match going on behind it. I did laugh right at the tail end commentary yelling, "Watch out, Andrew's about to die."
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was kind of. I feel like a lot of Collision has these like quick squash matches and then a post interview. Like it's a lot more like matches are kind of a reason to have the promo as opposed to just having good matches for matches sometimes. So I don't know. It's definitely a different philosophy. It feels almost like a promo factory for bigger things though sometimes.
Yeah, I was pretty annoyed by this match because they were advertising it like in the bottom left hand corner. So I was like, I don't know this guy. Maybe they'll have a good match. Maybe I'll be impressed. And then it was just a squash, and he had like a goofy gimmick. So it was just Claudio killing some goofy jobber. And so I was like, why did we need to do all this like hoop and ballyhoo if we're just setting up a match that I'm very excited for? Paige and Claudio will hump, as the kids say, but nah, I was just kind of like, oh, whatever. And then this was probably the worst match because they kind of botched a few things, and I was like, nah. But Nigel McGuinness had another great call in commentary because he Claudio stopped the swing right before 10, and he went, yeah, he stopped it because the locals couldn't count to 10. So another Nigel McGuinness quality commentary bit. Other than that, nah, I got
Yeah.
nothing. I'm almost tapped out. I got nothing with this.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I'll just move on. What do you?
To the
Yeah.
best
Anything else?
segment. It's happening, guys.
Oh man.
Lexi Nair backstage with Ricky Starks and Big Bill. Ricky Starks is going to return to Daly's place a champ. His debut was there against Cody Rhodes
Said it. We can all
uh,
go home.
for the TNT title. He lost, but uh, can stand here today, one half of the tag team champs. He will destroy Sammy on Dynamite. Apparently, they're doing a one-on-one match, which I'm actually excited about. Then Big Bill challenges Jericho and Sammy for the titles at Battle of the Belts. Yeah, crowd boos. Yeah,
I've heard speculation that they're just doing that to get the match out of the way. I don't I hate to say I don't think so, and maybe I'm just wrong. I don't think Tony Khan takes these allegations seriously. So I think they're gonna get just continue on. I don't know why I have a bad feeling about that. I think there you know how I said there's two roads with the Sting route? I think the other route where Sting and Darby beat Takeshita ends up at Revolution being Sting and Darby versus Guevara and Jericho for the tag titles. And Sting and Darby win on their last match,
um,
and Darby has to find a new member or something like that. That's kind of the other route I can kind of see going, because then it's like, oh, old WCW legend versus old WCW legend, four pillar versus four pillar. Like, it's one of those, in theory, that's a great
sense.
idea, but because one of the members isn't very popular right now, it might not work out. So I don't know. I still just have a bad feeling about this match, but hopefully Starks versus Guevara will be good. This is my first Sammy Guevara singles match, actually. So
Yeah, it's been quite
Yeah.
some time. He's great. He's a great worker. So hopefully there's a silver lining for it right there. So yeah, I just feel like Battle of the Belt specifically is just like a weird obligation that they just sort of throw whatever onto. They're always okay. The one we saw live was actually a lot of fun, but yet again, live wrestling's always a special thing. So yeah, I don't know. Head scratcher. I was hoping they would just kind of Bill and Ricky would go off to do way more interesting stuff than Les X Gods, but I don't know. What do you think, Dave?
Yeah, I don't. I kind of feel like they did it to get it out of the way, personally too. Uh, yeah, I don't know. Like, did you guys kind of hear the whole like, it began with like Nick Hausman talking about the Jericho stuff, and he backtracked kind of a lot too on it now. So
well, to be fair, again, I don't speak much about the allegations. All I'm saying is that they're making him unpopular. That's all I'm saying, is that people boo Jericho, and the reason why
yeah,
is because there are allegations. The only person that's reporting these allegations is Nick Hausman or whoever he had on that podcast. So, like, to be fair to Chris Jericho, that's the only person like really going on about this. And so that's, you know,
yeah,
it could not be true. It could very well not be true. And that's fine. It's, probably better, but until some, like, I think this
just
is just, you probably just shouldn't have Jericho on TV regardless. Like, until you can without a doubt say, nope, Jericho's a great guy. He's never done anything wrong, or if he has, he's repented and apologized. Like, until you can come out and say that, you need to not have him on TV.
yeah. But yeah, after that, we finally get to our main event of the night, which they gave like 25 minutes to. Uh, FTR versus House of Black. If FTR loses, they have to join the House of Black and renounce their own families. Um, it was cool. There was literally a dark cloud over the ring. Did you catch that from the pyro?
Yeah.
Like
That was
it
kind of
was
cool.
like eerie. Dax's family was ringside. Um, let's see. Cash and Matthews had a great mat exchange, some good chain wrestling. Really got me fired up. Uh, Cash and Dax do a double Russian leg sweep to Matthews, my buddy Matt's favorite wrestling move. Uh, Malachi Black sits down. Dax sits down in front of him and flips him off. Malachi Black rolls out and approaches Dax's family. FTR chase him off. Uh, just kind of loved how they're kind of like telling a little story during the match, and making it matter a little more. I liked that. Malachi Black leg sweeps Cash. Matthews back body drops Cash on the apron. Then Malachi moonsaults on Cash. Then some kicks to the midsection to Cash. Announcement or the announce team says that Magnum TA is backstage. I wrote that down. I think he would have been like major huge like wrestling star if he didn't get in I think a motorcycle accident or something crazy like that. But yeah, that's kind of a cool thing. I'd like to see like a wrestling what if kind of weird storyline
Yeah,
kind of
people
thing
have
with
like
him.
he was gonna be like the next Hulk Hogan. Like they were gonna push him to the moon, and then
Unfortunate.
sad.
Yeah. Cash tries to tag Dax, but Matthews kicks Dax off the apron. Let's see. Then he kicks Cash, covers Cash, and he kicks out at 2. Dax hits a sheer drop brainbuster to Malachi Black and covers for 2. Dax goes for a sharpshooter. Then Malachi Black hits a back elbow for a 2 count to Dax. Dax superplexes Malachi while Cash splashes on him. Matthew dives on top of from the turnbuckle, kneeing Cash into Dax, stopping the count. Cash goes to dive on the House of Black, but they catch him, knee him in the head, and throw him over the announce table. Malachi grabs a chair and looks at Dax's family. Dax fights back. FTR hits the Shatter Machine. Dax covers Matthews, but Malachi breaks the pin. FTR hit a spike pile driver on Malachi Black on the apron, and Brody King comes out. Daniel Garcia takes Brody King out with a chair and cheers on FTR. Dax rolls in. Matthews curb stomps him, covers, but Dax gets his foot on the ropes. Matthews hits a power bomb, covers Dax, uh, flips over, and Dax covers Matthews for the win. A kind of a cool way to reverse that cover. Yeah, great match. FTR and Garcia stand tall. Uh, First off, yeah, what did you two think of the match?
Oh my goodness, breathed a very necessary, like just big fight feel into the show. Um, I'm still kind of like on the fence about FTR. That's such an odd thing. I don't know, like they're excellent. They're just not like clicking with me, I guess. I don't know, but regardless, this match was fabulous. It was the double teaming of Malachi and Buddy Murphy or Buddy Matthews, I can never remember. It's so good. Like, why aren't these guys tagging way more often? Why don't they have the tag team belts right now? Like, why don't they do more with these guys? They're so good. So Daniel Garcia coming out. I mean, my goodness, they keep on selling that no one's gonna save you after you are, no one's gonna love you, and then oh, here comes Danny Garcia. That's one person. So I'm all for it. And then it just sets up this possibility of a 6-man tag further down the line that I'm stoked for. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what you could have done more with this other than cut the Claudio match and give it 10 more minutes. That's all I would change is give it more time.
Dave brought up wrestling what ifs. What if House of Black won and they had to carry out the stipulation? That would have been really cool.
Oh yeah, of course.
No, I wanted that secretly.
I did, man. That would have been way more interesting. Like,
I still kind of got what I wanted with them kneeing Dax's head in right in front of his daughter. I cackled. I cackled at that. I thought it was so funny.
just sad Harwood. I can't see my family no more. Starts getting tattoos and listening to metal music.
Yeah, that it would have been excellent. I liked our idea where it was them two or like one big Bret Hart tattoo, and they would come together, and it would just be Bret Hart. I liked that idea, but I don't. I don't think that was ever going to happen. Unfortunately, I don't think we're ever going to get. I kind of think House of Black are on their way out too. Maybe not Brody King and Julia Hart, but I think Malachi and Buddy are kind of walking away. So they're going to have one nice, good program left, and they're going to put FTR and Daniel Garcia over in this big fashion, and then Brody King and Julia Hart will probably just be a duo for after that.
That's fair. Yeah, I'd like to see Brody and Julia stay. I actually think they're a really good fit. So, but yeah, the other ones, they almost seem like, yeah, disconnected from the roster. Like they come out, have these like great banger matches, and just like boop back into the background in my box. And it's like kind of like to see them a little more, I don't know, interactive with the rest of the roster. How about you, Dave?
Um, yeah, I mean, there has been rumors about them both maybe wanting to head back to the WWE. Yeah, they're incredible when they team. I like the Malachi Buddy team better than the Brody and Malachi team. Because Brody doesn't need Malachi to like be a monster solo talent. So yeah, I think it's great. Good match. And you know, it's not over yet. They're gonna have a blow off at some point, maybe Revolution, uh, cage match, stipulations, who knows.
And I loved
But yeah.
the very ending with the 10 bell salute, because that where like if a bad guy's beating up the good guys and they ring the bell frantically, I don't know if they're like trying to get them to stop or trying to get people's attention, but that's not something that ever happens at WWE. So that was pretty new to me. I've heard that's like a WCW thing. Is that true?
Oh, they don't do that in WWE? Like frantically ring it
Hmm.
when someone's like in a
No,
submission after the match?
they just kind of let it happen. Like
Wow.
yeah.
That was a WCW thing for sure.
So it's new to me. So I was like, "Ooh, what? Like, why are they like doing it so off pace? Like, what's on, guys? How hard is that?" And it's, oh, well, of course, it's Julia Hart. Like, it's just kind of nice to see the House of Black all together again because they've been away for so long, and it was creepy, it was eerie, and it sets up a follow up match. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, FTR and Garcia stand tall, but then the House of Black jump them. Matthews curb stomps Cash on a chair. Malachi hits a spinning kick to Dax with a chair, and Brody hits Garcia with a chair. Julia rings the bell for the 10 bell salute. House of Black stand tall. Um, yeah, I really wanted FTR House of Black member thing to happen, but uh, yeah, good match. I'd really like Chandler for you to watch that like hour long Iron Man FTR versus Jay White and Juice Robinson match. If you ever get bored, that kind of like that almost gave me this vibe watching this match. So
Was it the Iron
um,
Man? I thought it was a 2 out of 3 falls.
oh, it was a 2 out of 3.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, that's what I meant.
Regardless, I have not seen it. I just wrote it down. So
I believe that was like right before like anyone thought Punk was coming back or at all, or
I was
right
on
after it
Collision.
maybe.
He was there, right?
Oh, oh yeah, I guess he was back. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He had to have been.
Oh, we mentioned
Um,
Punk. It happened, baby.
Oh,
oh,
thank God.
thumbnail.
Thumbnail. Let's just mention Rhea Ripley so we can get her in the thumbnail too.
Yep. But yeah, you want to get into high points and low points?
Yeah, you want to start?
Yeah, yeah. Low point for me, I guess, was them announcing the Jericho match on for Battle of the Belts. Yeah, don't love it, but I want them to just get it over with. And I don't want them to win. I guess my high point of the night was the retro Sting Ric Flair banter promo. I mean, I literally got up out of my chair and I was like, fucking, pumped. So yeah, that was my high point. How about you guys?
For me, my high point was get the idea of getting Hook and Joe. I thought the promo was pretty cool, and I don't know, just kind of like a look at the future. Kind of into that idea. I was like, oh, that could be fun, and it's not a pairing that really ever popped in my head. So I think that's one of Tony Khan's biggest strengths is just his you and you. And I was like, I didn't know I needed that match, but now here I am. I really want that. So for me, I think that's kind of my high point. A low point, same as you, Dave. Like I said, a lot of the show was like mid to up for me, and I think that was definitely the lowest point. I was just like, don't want to see it, and I'm all Jericho'd out.
Yeah. For me, my high point, I'd have to give it to what I just said, the Julia 10 bell salute, because I was literally thinking, like, man, I like Julia Hart really should be on like something. I kind of just want something for this show and have her be on the show in a really interesting way. I just dug it. And then low point, I gotta pick one. I'll just agree with you guys. It was that we're actually getting the Jericho match. I just kind of wish they forgot about it and moved on, but not yet. We haven't. We gotta see the match. We don't want another Keith Lee swerve situation where we're holding on to that for a year and it gets to a
We
point where
got
they're
so
like,
close.
it'll never happen at this point. But yeah. Any big news happen over the weekend?
Monet is imminent.
Is
That's
it?
all I got.
Is it like confirmed? Confirmed? Or are we still kind of like,
Like this morning, it was more confirmed than yesterday.
how? Like what's changing? I guess, or like what's being known, or
I don't know for sure. I mean, who knows? You know, who really knows?
yeah, it's always it could be a work, but we'll see.
Do you think it could be Dynamite in Jacksonville?
You think Daly's place? I mean, they haven't
Yeah,
announced a
good.
women's segment, but maybe.
Could be the place. Do what they did with Sting, where he debuted.
Mm-hmm. It's got a name. It's called Homecoming, so that would be like a Mercedes Moné debuted for AEW at Dynamite Homecoming, which is the same thing they did for Sting, which is he debuted at Winter is Coming. So yeah, I could see that happening.
Yeah.
Maybe they would that guarantee the 2 segments a show? Would it?
Maybe
God, I hope so.
she should put that in her contract.
You will do 2 women's shows or 2 women's segments a show, even if I'm not in them.
Yeah, I think that would be fair. Yeah, ringside news here. Most AEW debut imminent.
All right. Well,
Who knows, man? Who really knows?
I'll believe it when I see it, but she most likely is. I think from the WWE side, again, it's quiet. CM Punk will be on Raw tonight, so I'm sure that'll be a hoot and a half.
Yeah.
Other than
I guess
that-
also TNA each day at 1 p.m. they're releasing YouTube videos debuting their new TNA belts that
Cool.
they've redesigned. They already
okay.
showed off the tag titles and the X Division title held by Chris Sabin,
Nice.
who we saw live at Prestige.
Oh, did we really? Who was he?
Yeah,
He's
he
in the
was
main event.
Motor City Machine Gun.
Oh, he was the
Chris
other
Sabin.
guy. Okay. I don't know their names that well, but he was the other guy of the Motor City Machine Guns. Okay. They're not okay. So
That's
they're
cool.
not.
He's
I was just gonna say they're not stripping them of the titles. They're just switching from Impact to
Nope.
TNA, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a little like Scott Diamore's got the bag and like, here, thank you for your service, and like gives them the new design, and that's kind of how it's going.
Oh, okay,
Cool.
that's good. That's
Yeah. I really love the OG TNA belt, especially when do you remember, Chad, when Moose brought back the TNA belt and they were having the little like he was challenging the Impact champion and that whole thing. I think that was cool. I love that belt, the whole design, like Jeff Hardy had it, Sting had it, a lot of big names from that cool like watered down WCW period of TNA had that belt. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, that's really all I really got.
There was one thing that I
Um,
kind of forgot. You heard about the rumors about the AEW title? It's getting a
yeah,
big
y-
redesign. Have you seen? I have not seen the leaks. I've only heard them talk about it. So
I have
cover your
seen.
ears if you don't want to hear about leaks, children. But I think it's going to look a little bit more like the current WWE belt, where it's all about the branding, and the branding is really big. So,
So what I saw was here. Let me get my belt. Hold on.
ooh, show and
Ooh,
tell.
who's ready for story time with David, baby?
Whose belt? Dave's belt.
All right. So what they're gonna do instead of the
Allegedly,
AEW?
allegedly.
I mean, yeah, allegedly, this will be a black background with a rectangle black background, and this won't be metallic anymore. It'll just be like the plain AEW logo. And they're also changing.
Ooh,
Great
dog.
dog.
You haven't taken your Christmas
The
tree down yet? Dude.
no, no, I
Gotta
haven't.
stay in the Christmas spirit. Come on.
Bah humbug.
We're going
Hold on. Wait,
down.
I just went heel on Santa Claus.
I got
You're
a
getting
dog
coal in your stocking.
getting tangled. So then they're going to change, instead of having two globes and an AEW logo, they're going to do one globe and two AEW logos. Same for, this one will just be and they'll all be the black background on the AEW logo. Not a huge change, but
Mm.
enough.
Yeah, I actually quite like that title. I think it looks real good. So I wouldn't really change much to it unless you're doing like personal belts, like the Burberry belt for MJF, or I don't know what you would do for Joe. Maybe he's got like a favorite color he wants the backstrap to be. I don't know. But maybe it'll be good. Maybe we'll see it and I'll go, "Ooh, yeah, that looks pretty good." But they're in TV renewal season, so they're kind of going to want to like refresh and shape up, which I think is why we just got all those fancy new Dynamite logos and all that. So, kind of makes sense that they're changing the title too.
Yeah. That's pretty much all I can think about. Cool, yeah, great show. Um, all right, episode of Collision. I'm kind of looking forward to Dynamite actually
Yeah.
being back in Daly's place. I think they're going to
Yeah.
do something big.
Yeah, the
It
last
might be a
Dynamite was
Monet.
fire. I really hope they keep that, at least keep their Dynamite momentum going, because I really enjoyed the last one, and I don't know, made me hopeful for the future. So
No matter what, we'll get Samoa Joe. We'll get Sting and Darby versus the Don Callis family, which I feel like that could be, no matter who wins, that could be a very fun match. So I'm looking forward to it. I think I hate to say it, if you have that kind of like theme or kind of like feel of that like a dragon street fight, but like not crap, could be good. And I feel like this could be kind of like little silly, little pantomime, but still entertaining. And I think this will be like that. I don't think this will be, even if Takeshita and Hobbs win, it won't be like they kill Darby or they kill Sting. I think no matter what, it'll be even and it'll be fun.
Yeah, I mean, it could be uh some crazy shenanigans, some Don Callis cheating. I think that would keep Sting and Darby looking good.
I don't want to give
Um,
you a heart attack, but you remember from Forbidden Door where Don Callis was like gonna kill Kenny Omega and he like shoves the screw. I want that with Sting, but like of course he gets saved or he gets out of the way. But Don Callis is like,
So I
I'm gonna
pictured-
kill you.
Yeah, or he makes contact
yep.
and Sting just does the Sting no sell.
Oh, it's like that Sammy Guevara 630 where Sting just didn't move and he just is like, yeah, I'll take that. I don't care. I'm Sting.
Or Sting does the gorilla thing with a fucking screwdriver.
It's like the skewer spot.
No, it's like Swerve with the staplers. It's like, oh, why are you doing that now, man? You're at the tail end.
Oh man, remember Mira took the skewers?
Oh, I was stuck in there for
Yep.
so long.
Prestige.
Wow.
Good stuff. Oh.
Yeah,
But,
make sure to check
yeah.
out Prestige if you have it. It's a real fun time. They're on like IWTV or something like that. It's an app or something, but check it out. It's a lot of fun.
If you're in the Pacific Northwest, they're here every 2 or 3 months. They flip-flop to California and here basically. So yeah, they're at the Globe Theater.
Yeah, they also helped
last
do
time.
the Combat Princess stuff too. The all women's promotion out there. Ooh, apparently, it's really good too.
Cool. Yeah, I think that just about does it. Cool. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on the show.
Thanks for hosting.
Yeah. I think that's all we got today. And yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, check us out on the audio realm. And yeah, thank you for your support. We really appreciate you, and we love what we're doing. Yeah, check out our content, our top 5 videos, and yeah, you'll probably like what you see. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye.
Peace.
Bye-bye.